Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Trap Draw podcast. I am TC, and I'm joined. You know what, Randy? This isn't coming through my headphone, my
Oh, good
mic.
catch.
Let me let me
I should
fix
have I
that
should
real
have caught
quick.
that before we hit record, TC. Asleep at the wheel.
Perhaps we should just leave this in too. This
Yeah, do you wanna switch your microphone, show people the difference?
that work? Sound better?
Oh my god, it's rich, it's luxurious, it's vibrant. Yeah, much
There's our,
better.
there's our first mea culpa of the day.
That's right.
Thank you, Mr. Jeezy. Thank you for you being here, Randy. Your flow, for those watching on the NLU podcast YouTube channel, your flow and kind of grizzled beard, looking great. Your aesthetic
Yeah,
is on point right now.
it's haggard. Yeah, it's not good, TC. I am getting a haircut this afternoon, and we will be shaving right after the
Uh,
haircut too. So we were kind of just like stretching the last few days, like knowing that this day was coming. So didn't put a lot of effort into the appearance.
well, disappointed to hear that, but happy to have you here nonetheless.
Thank you. And
Last
what a
time we
hat you're
chopped,
wearing. For folks that aren't watching, TC is rocking proudly a Sable offshore hat. Can't imagine where you got that from.
yeah, a loyal listener, a follower on X, the Everything app, sent me this and said, "Hey, this is it's better that you own this than I own this." I said, "Thank you," and gladly accepted it from him. So, he will remain unnamed, but
Okay.
he knows who he is and very, very grateful for, his generosity.
Thank
So,
you, Phil. Thank you. Thank you for sending that, Phil.
last time the 2 of us chopped was October 14th, so quite a lot to catch up on.
It's been a
We got
minute.
some it has. We got some mea culpas. Of course, ServPro, presenting sponsor of this here podcast, as well as the number one brand in cleanup and restoration, known for making any mess like it never even happened. Over 2,200 locations nationwide. They're faster to any size disaster. Visit servpro.com or call 1-800-SERVPRO today. Randy, I got a lot. I got a
Do
lot of
you?
yeah, I got a lot of mea culpas.
All right.
I'll just start firing them off.
Please.
The Michelin Guide released their Charlotte recommendations,
Oh boy.
and there was a restaurant awarded a Michelin star, but it was not the one I said it would be.
Hmm.
So it was not Los Strica, unfortunately. It was another place called Counter.
Counter.
Which
Interesting.
yeah, which is kind of a bummer. And then Long Von though, the I think Thai or Vietnamese place did get a Michelin recommended kind of
Okay.
a bib gourmand recommendation there. So
Are we
listen,
apologizing to the people of Charlotte? Are we
no,
apologizing to the restaurant that you thought was gonna get a Michelin star but did not? Where are we directing this
I
apology?
think I'm apologizing to yeah, both the restaurant that I thought was going to get a Michelin star as well as just listeners in general who
Okay.
trust my culinary Epicurean takes,
Yeah.
and, this was not a good prognostication on my part, but I don't think it's a slight on Los Strica at all. I had
Okay.
one of the best meals I've had there was,
Okay.
uh,
Alright.
what else? Oh, Doctor Penis,
This is a tough one. Yeah.
Peanus. Yeah, Magic Jeff sent that one over and said, quote, "I'm sorry about the Doctor Penis thing, that's on me." This was, I think, the allegedly the doctor that was treating Lamar Jackson's injury. I think it was from an obvious
I
troll account, and I should
for
have
su
caught this. And,
I guess it's that's how reliable Magic Jeff is. Like, if he sends something along, you
I
just
know.
take him at his word. Yeah, I don't blame you, but it does, I think going forward, Magic Jeff, I'm sorry, but we're gonna have to add an extra layer of scrutiny, I think, to whatever comes
Yeah,
from
I mean,
you.
there's probably 2 or 3 other things on this agenda today that came over via Magic Jeff as well. So, what else? What, you and I covered this last time we were on, and then I issued a mea culpa for it when I was on with DJ. But since you're here, the weather balloon, the United windshield that got like shattered, the 737. It was not space debris. It was weather balloon ballast. It was sand in that.
Okay.
So,
And it wasn't one of the Chinese balloons?
no, no, I think it was like a legitimate, like,
Okay.
meteorological balloon from a US
Okay.
company of sorts. So, apologies there. You kinda missed this. We got on the subject of bird watching, DJ
Yeah.
and I, a
Yeah.
couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
And, we were basically we are playing golf with Solly, and he mentioned something offhand. I'll just read a statement from Solly here, if I
Okay.
may.
Yeah,
He
please.
said, it's been brought to my attention that recent media reports have stated that I am an avid bird watcher. Nothing could be further from the truth. I privately shared an anecdote relating to birds to two of my once dear friends, Todd Schuster and Dennis Pyhowski, about an instinct or an urge I had to take a photo of a cool bird I saw in my neighborhood. Despite
Urge.
being an urge, despite being quite clear about what happened, I was later made aware that they took this information to the Trap Drop podcast to defame me as an avid bird watcher. My intent when sharing this information was to acknowledge that I felt an extremely adult urge in a moment of weakness, and I courageously fought back against this urge that had the potential to age me by about 25 years. I respect all avid bird watchers, and I did not intend to dishonor the true titans of this industry. In the future, I will be more considerate about who I share information with, as these two men were not to be trusted to fairly represent my story.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
I
And
guess
Randy,
what
it's come out in the mix of this. People have been sending over the recommendations for the Merlin app, and it came out that you were actually recommending the
Yeah.
Merlin app
I've been
months,
on the
if
Merlin
not
app
years ago.
for years, TC. The Merlin app's great. If anybody is not on the Merlin app, it's the Merlin Bird ID. It's a free app. I believe Cornell, out of Cornell, and essentially wherever you are, the one thing you do have to do is you have to download a certain kind of sound library based on where you are geographically. Okay, so you can do like a broad United States package, but then you can get a little bit more granular and you can do like out here in the Rockies, right? There's more of a detailed Rocky Mountain package. There's a Midwest, et cetera, et cetera.
Mhm.
And then whenever you hear a bird, you just open the app, you kinda hit play to capture the sound, and then it
Oh, it's
spits back
audio.
what the
I was
bird.
thinking it was I think, I was thinking it was visual, and it was like an AI image thing that would recognize the
No.
bird.
No, you can ID birds by the sounds, and then it'll show you a picture of the bird, so you can see, like, if you do have a visual of the bird, you can match it up, and it'll give you information on that bird. It's great. It's wonderful. I can't tell you how many times I've just been sitting outside on a calm evening, and you hear a little bird song, and you open up Merlin, and you're like, "Oh, that's what that bird is." It's wonderful, TC.
Randy, a philosophical question for you. Is using a performance enhancing device, such as the Merlin app, is that considered cheating in the bird
Well,
watching
listen, if it was like a
community?
contest going on to see who could identify birds the best, then yeah, that would be cheating, but I don't feel like I'm in a competition with anybody. I just am a seeker of information. So I don't feel like I'm cheating anybody of anything, if that makes sense, TC. I feel like
It
I'm
does make sense.
augmenting my knowledge. I'm becoming a better citizen of where I am.
You're doing it for the love of the game, not to
That's
compete.
that's right.
Uh, okay. Well, yeah, I'm kinda color me mildly intrigued. I guess there's these bird feeders that are kinda hooked up to stuff like, almost like a Ring camera, and, there's that sort of thing. I may need to get one of those for my backyard. Huge hummingbird guy. Need to get some of those, some traffic coming through my backyard on that front as well, but, and then a bunch of people have sent over the Listers documentary. I know DJ watched it and loved it. It's like first on my list to watch.
I know.
I haven't watched it yet.
Insistent that we watched it, and I have not watched it yet.
Yeah.
One cool thing, TC, I really do think you'd like the Merlin Bird the app, and I'm not getting any kickbacks on this. This is totally free advertisement for them. I'm not sure if anybody even makes money off of this, but when you do get bird sounds recorded, it stores what it is. So, like, the last one I did was actually from June out here in Denver. It was a spotted towhee. and it just gives you all the information you need on it. It gives you examples of the bird calls. It's great. I think Solly, I think he might wanna rethink his statement. I think he's being a little bit too dismissive of some of the potential benefits of him getting into bird watching.
I agree. I agree. Now, do you have to like, you're going to Ohio this weekend, do you have to download another add-on or,
Well, you
geography
can.
for
If you don't have the broad one, you do. But I'm trying to find as we're yeah, I'd probably download and it's pretty quick. I'd probably download a Ohio specific one just to give me a better the last big package it looks like I downloaded was up in Michigan, in Northern
Okay,
Michigan. So yeah, you can kinda get a little granular. I think that is the best way to approach it.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for that. I will report back on
Thank you. Yeah.
it and try to be an advocate for avid bird watchers or really novice bird watchers down here in Jacksonville. So,
Yeah. I think you're probably in a place,
well, all right. What if the bird's
where
not
there are a
making any
lot of people
sound?
going out. Well, I think that's when you're more into, like, watching than listening, right? And I think maybe we need to make that clarification. I think the Merlin Bird ID app is more for sound. It's you hear something and you're just curious what that bird is. I think what Solly's talking about, and maybe what we're talking about too, is, like, going out with a pair of binoculars and getting your eyeballs on these birds. I've never done that. I gotta be honest, it doesn't, like, really interest me, but I also would say if somebody I knew was avidly into it, I think I would sign up to go with them for a morning just to experience it.
They probably know the spots too.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
all right. Well, yeah, we got some more wildlife content later in the episode and our monitoring stuff,
How about that?
but
Stay
again,
tuned,
another,
folks.
sincere apology to Solly for what we thought was just trying to guide him into a cool community. Not there was nothing malicious
Yeah.
about it. So
It's kind of ageist, like, if I listen to his statement again, I think he's
it is a
most
little
concerned
bit.
about being aged by 25 years. That's
Yeah.
tough.
Randy, we got some RIPs. I don't like we'll cut off the ServPro Mea Culpa segment there. Thank you to them. We've got some RIPs. First of all, young bleed.
Yeah, Young Bleed. We came across Young Bleed on the Strapped series in Baton Rouge in New Orleans. He was one of the song. Oh God, what's his? Do you have this song? But he had one song that went pretty hard, TC, and you can listen to that on that series. And it was a shame to read he had passed.
Is that the How You Do That?
That's what it is. That's
Okay.
exactly what it
It was
is.
off the Bout It soundtrack, I
Yeah,
believe.
yeah,
Um, My Balls and My Word looks like
that's
another one
right.
of the singles off of that. So,
I think that's all
um,
anybody has in this world.
yeah. Well, yeah, RIP to him. This one hit home for you, Victor Conte, the founder of Balco Labs.
Yeah. I got a fantasy football team that's been named Balco for, gosh, going on 15 years now. Was a massive Balco Labs fan, Vic Conte. This is a real loss, TC. The
The
PED
cream and
game,
the clear.
the cream and the clear, the PED game. He kind of really got it cracking. I feel like for our generation, and so just want to recognize a real pioneer.
And really, I think he came out in later years as an anti PED advocate, but we won't hold that against him.
No. I I would like to see the enhanced games maybe do something to honor him before,
Yeah,
maybe at the
yeah.
opening ceremony or something, but yeah.
Where do you shake out on the Hall of Fame stuff?
I
I think we've talked about this before, but
yeah, I feel like we've talked about Pete Rose. I really don't get that worked up about it, but I say let the people that are deserving by their statistics, let them in, and then just tell the full story, put it on the plaque that they were suspected or caught using performance enhancing drugs, and then, I think it's part of the game. It's part of the history of the game. So I guess I would be for Hall of Fame induction for your Barry Bonds, your Roger Clemens, but I don't think we can pretend like the PED stuff never happened.
Yeah, I agree, and it's tough to discern who was on it, who wasn't
That's
on
right.
it.
That's right. Like,
Like Barry
how
Bonds.
Mike Piazza kinda just
Yeah,
skipped all past it, it's like, I don't know. That
yeah.
one doesn't make me feel good.
We've got another Hall of Famer, Paul Tagliabue, passed away. Seemed like a legitimately great leader and did some things that were set the NFL up for success, I think, over a long period of time with the salary cap and some of his just his relationship with Gene Upshaw and kind of getting like kind of priming the pump for the NFL we have today. So
It's pretty amazing. I guess the only thought I have about related to Paul Tagliabue, of course, RIP, just how few commissioners of the NFL there have been, right? Because obviously Goodell, I didn't, it amazed me that Goodell took the job in 2006, and then before him was Tagliabue going back to '89, and then Pete Rozelle all the way back to 1960. So we're talking about a span of 65 years now where 3 men have been commissioners. That's pretty
it's
incredible.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dick Cheney passed away. I'll chat with
Mm.
DJ about this one. The New York Times obituary for that one was one of the densest, longest, like wide-ranging things I've ever read. Of
Lot going on with DC.
lot going on.
Uh,
So
I mean, I feel like that's a life lived, is kind of what I say about that. Like,
yeah,
love him, hate him, any way you feel about him, like, the guy was just he was prolific and did a lot of shit.
he did. He did. Speaking of that, there was another great obit. This was sent over by Magic Jeff. This guy James D. Watson. He was the co-discoverer of the structure of DNA, first one to
Yeah.
kind of sequence it, and believe it was the longest obituary the New York Times has ever written or published. And so with it was the same thing with Cheney as far as I weirdly like obituaries. I just think it's cool to see how people approach a life. But the uh Bill McDonald, who's the obituaries editor, said this was like basically they do these advanced obituaries where they'll file it and then they'll just keep updating it as
Yeah.
time goes along in case like because you couldn't ever write this in a short period of time and react to a death. And I think they did the same thing with Dick Cheney as well. Um, so, but yeah, this James D. Watson guy, it's a roller coaster ride. Um,
He had
Nobel
some
Prize
takes later
winner.
in life that were troubling.
Yeah, some racist takes, some anti-fat people takes, some anti-women. I mean, it was just like he was hitting everybody. Um, but also like a legitimately brilliant scientist and scientific literature as well. It was fascinating. I think he was the son of a debt collector, like
Hmm.
interesting kind of upbringing as well. So yeah, just
He wa
wild
a
there.
British guy, right? I was reading just a little bit about him, but maybe I have that wrong.
Believe he was
Uh,
British,
okay.
and then he immigrated, and he was at Harvard, and then he pissed off the whole scientific community, and they all kind of turned on him, and he ended up
Yeah.
selling his Nobel Prize to I think some Ukrainian or Russian billionaire who then like gave it right back to him.
Huh.
It was
I
interesting.
I'm gonna
So
get out ahead of this mea culpa. He was born in Chicago, Illinois. I don't know
okay,
why I thought he might have been British.
they did a like a um movie about his life, and I think the BBC like they cast somebody on the American side, they cast somebody, and then the BBC did one as well, and they cast
Okay.
like a British actor, I think,
Huh.
for it. So
Interesting.
anyway, but yeah, you know,
I mean, some real some real heavy hitters there, TC.
I know, crazy,
That
crazy.
was that was quite a stretch there last week.
Yeah. I mean, I think our lead story today, Randy, is the ginkgo leaves. They're falling across the
Mm,
nation. And
mm.
I've we got all sorts of precincts reporting. I've gotten people from Maryland, Nashville, Lexington, DJ. All the DJs fell yesterday morning, I believe.
Wow.
Yeah, like this cold snap has just condensed the ginkgo season all into kind of one thing. I did get a note from somebody up in Vermont that said they're holding strong despite the first snowfall up there.
Interesting.
So yeah,
Huh.
so
Any plans for you to hop on a flight somewhere, I
you know
guess
what? It
maybe
would
to
have.
Vermont or
Yeah,
somewhere else?
I don't think it's maybe the week for it, just with everything floating around in the air travel world. I probably could have stopped somewhere on the way back from Texas, but yeah, just kind of wanted to get home and stay ahead of the cascading delays and cancellations that are going on.
Yeah.
Um, so, and then Randy, I gotta tell you about this. This is the other big thing that happened lately. Uh, I Gustav, my younger one, he hit into a triple play in his baseball game. And let me set the stage for you
Uh,
here.
uh, okay.
It's pretty incredible. Like if either team gets one or even two outs before everybody hits in the inning, and
Let's level set. How old is Gustav?
Gustav just turned 5.
Okay, so we're talking what are we still in T-ball? Are we coach
It's
pitch?
it's kind of a modified, coach pitch. So it's like coach pitch for the first 2 pitches, and then they put it on a tee for the 3rd pitch, unless
Okay.
he fouls it off, and then they keep going.
Okay.
But yeah, so
So to your point though, like we're not nobody's really fielding anything cleanly and like
no,
getting their man at first base.
it's on an extremely small field, and still, it's like it takes like a bona fide miracle for anything, at least from the left side, because most of them pull it at least from the left side all the way over to first base. Yeah, like you'll get some
Yeah.
force outs at like second or third sometimes, but overall, there's like a ton of grounders that just go to you know,
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
go to the outfielders, and then ball gets thrown in to the pitcher. Pitcher puts his hands up, hands it back to the coach, that sort of
Okay.
thing. So
Okay.
Goosey, he's a good contact hitter. Like he had a triple earlier in the game, and then he ends up like putting a really good move on this ball, just right to the shortstop. And um, gosh, what? So the shortstop throws it to
Well, in the
third.
air or is this a grounder?
I think it was in the air,
Okay.
and so
Wow.
he throws it to third immediately. They get to force at third, and then the kid from first ran all the way around, and he was about to get home, or like he was about to get to third from first. That's how quickly he was running. He just kept running as all this was going on. So then one of the other kids, so then like the third baseman literally ran it across the diamond and stepped on first base. It was a triple play.
Unbelievable.
And
Did
like
I mean,
all
I'm
of us
sure
just
none of the
kind of
kids knew what was going on.
no, but like all and every parent on like both sides just we kind of looked at each other and like, did that just happen? It's got to be like unprecedented in nationwide, or at least in this league here.
Yeah.
It was like a
Yeah.
true one in a million kind of thing. And yeah, Gustav
Mm.
was just like, man, I hit that hard. So
Loud out.
yeah, yeah. So, what have you been up to?
Um, TC, the highlight, this happened, a couple weeks ago. I guess the weekend before last weekend. Very adult thing that happened to me. I was out doing yard work trying to tackle the leaf situation in, both the front and backyard. I mean, just what a process that is. You
What kind of
know,
trees we talking?
um, God, that's a good question. I know one of the trees out front is a northern catawba tree. It's
Okay.
like big leaves. I should know the other big one out front.
Northern
It's
catawba tree. Let's see.
it's
Oh
it's
wow.
pretty standard,
It's very, very
but
leafy.
yeah, very leafy, all coming down right now. And okay, so I have like a big green garbage bin, right? That they'll collect once a week. I It's amazing how quickly you fill that up with leaves. So
Yeah.
that's not going to be a solution. I run to the hardware store. They're thankfully, I don't know what the deal was, but I ended up getting leaf bags for free. And so I ended up filling, I think 7 bags, leaf bags, and, this isn't really part of the story, but then they don't pick up the leaf bags from your curb. You have to take them. 'Em, they're like leaf drops across the city, so I gotta, like, pile all these leaf bags into my car and drive them and drop them off. Anyway, I'm out there doing yard work, it's a Saturday afternoon, I got the podcast in, like, I'm feeling very adult, and I kinda see this guy coming up the street. I see him talking down there, and I'm kinda working out front by the sidewalk, trying to, be a good citizen, clear the sidewalk of leaves. And he comes up and he goes, "Hey, I'm Mike." And it hits me. It's the mayor of Denver, Mike Johnston. He's out canvassing. He had a big he was
Huh.
behind a big bond issue on our ballot last week called Vibrant Denver. He wants to fund a bunch of infrastructure projects around the city.
Have him come on the
And
trap draw.
I know. But what was cool about it, to his credit, he was just like, "Hey, I'm Mike. I'm out canvassing for the bond issue." He never said he was the mayor, right? Like, I recognize him. I knew he was the mayor. But we probably talked for I
Did you
had already
acknowledge it at
voted.
any point that he was the mayor?
Well, no, that's the thing. I'm like, "Hey," I was like, "I appreciate you." I was like, "I actually voted already. I took advantage of the ballot, the drop boxes, so my ballot was cast." He never asked me how I voted, and then we got talking, he was like I was like, "Yeah, I'm just out here doing some yard work." It was just Halloween. He was commenting on some of the Halloween decorations around the neighborhood. Start talking about where I'm from. He's asked me any big issues here in the neighborhood. I kind of froze on that. I didn't have a great answer. I was like, "No, the wife and I, we really love it." And that was it. And then he went on his way. 5 minutes with the mayor of Denver, TC.
Well, you coulda gotten on him about the leaf situation.
The
About,
Leafs,
"Hey,
I know.
why won't you just pick up the leaves from here?"
I came inside and told my wife about it. She's like, "Well, did you tell him that the cost of living here is ridiculous, the home prices?" I was like, "No, I didn't think of that." I'm not sure if he's gonna be able to do anything to fix that in the next, year or whatever. There's, like,
Did it
major
yeah,
construction on one of the big roads, but I'm sure he's heard a bunch of that. I kinda panicked on any
is this
complaints.
his first term? Or has he
Yeah,
been
he got elected. He would have been elected as part of the presidential cycle. So
okay.
what was that, like, last year? Um, but the bond issue ended up passing, which was a big, like, that was a lot of wind in the sails for him, because that I think that was, like, the people of Denver giving him a vote of confidence to go forward with his, agenda.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Uh, well, that's cool. Are you gonna become
Yeah, it's not
involved? Are you
that
are you
cool,
gonna, like,
but
run for city council or something next? I mean, you're
no, no, but
civically involved.
I do have, I guess, my only other, like, civic oriented thing recently. I made the decision to subscribe to the Denver Post, the paper of record here in Denver.
Is it
I've been
just down to the Denver Post, or they have or is the Rocky Mountain News still floating around
I think the
as
Rocky
well?
Mountain News might be floating around still, but
Okay.
candidly, I don't see much of it. And I also will admit, I'm not sure of, like, the historical kind of positions those papers take. The Denver Post does have some original reporting and writing. They also source stuff from the AP and the New York Times. But I was like, "Hey, I'm living here in Denver. I'm trying to stay off social media. Like, I'm not really getting much news from that. Like, I feel like I should subscribe to the paper." So I try to make a point. I do my iPad. I try to read the digital edition, at least browse it every
Well,
day.
good for you. Good for
Yeah.
you. I know the Rocky Mountain News is no longer in publication. They stopped in, let's see, February 27th, 2009 was their
Oh, so
last,
they've been
it's a
long
pretty
gone.
yeah, it was a pretty good, pretty good run for them. They were owned by Scripps. I think Denver Post is owned by Alden Global, which is kind of the PE firm that's rolling up all these
Uh,
different papers and gutting them
we
a little
don't love
bit.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But hey,
Um,
support the paper either way.
yeah.
So
The sports
Um,
page, we're concerned about Bo Nix, I can tell you that. Is Bo Nix a good enough quarterback to take the Broncos where they wanna go? That's the big
which I
question.
think that's a legitimate question.
Yeah.
We got some of those same questions percolating down here in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
So, um, God, what else we got? Randy, Alex is my wife. Alex is she's gonna coach um, Freddie's basketball team this
I
season. I think they
I love
start their
this.
practice
I
next
need to
week.
know more about this. Yeah. Uh,
I do too. She just put
w
this on me a
did she
couple weeks
really
ago.
want this? Was it
She
kinda
did.
like, "Nobody else is gonna do this, I'll volunteer"? What talk to me about the decision.
No, she's I guess it's been in the works for a while. And she said like he's gonna get too old and then I'm not gonna be able to like have the expertise to coach
Sure.
them, but she wants to do actual positions and plays this year. I think they've just had inbounds plays to this
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it goes. It'll be Alex and then our friend Jesse, one of our good family friends, their dad. So we'll see. I will keep you posted
I
on
was gonna say, we might even
records
need
and such.
Alex to come on at some point
Yeah.
to
I don't
talk
think
about
she's ever been on any of our pods.
how crazy it is coaching youth sports today.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a pretty laid back lead,
Okay.
beaches basketball and yeah,
Okay.
so,
Alright. Well, sincerely,
um,
good luck to Alex. I
yeah.
am envious that she gets to coach a basketball team.
Did you have a, like a chili like a neighborhood chili thing lately, or was I making that up?
No, God, I wish we did. No, I haven't had it. You know, one of my goals this year was to get a soup group going in the neighborhood, and I just
Maybe
feel like
that's what I was thinking
I'm
of.
gonna fail at that. Yeah. Have made a couple bowls of or batches of chili with the fall weather, but no, nothing like the chili cook-off that Jax has.
Yeah,
God, a good chili kickoff
it's good.
beats everything. Yeah, no, I wish TC. I
Yeah, Alex took the boys to this because they're off school today for Veterans Day, which happy Veterans Day to all who served and like sincerely thank you for your service. But she took him to they were off school, and so there's this place Zupa or Supa that she took him to. I didn't even know it existed. I feel like I'm
mm,
derelict in my soup duties, but they said it was excellent. So
is this a local spot or like a
local
chain? You think?
spot, yeah. I don't know. It's a good question. It's like a local spot. It's in Supa Noodle Bar.
Huh?
Um, let's see. Looks like it's like one of one. Um,
I'm missing a soup spot around me. TC.
there's three of them. There's one in Orlando, one in Jack. Actually, there's two in Orlando, one in Jax. So this is Supa 2. It's over by the
Okay.
movie theater, the
Huh.
Tinseltown movie theater.
Okay. Well,
So
please, you're a soup guy, and I gotta imagine you're
I am.
raising a couple boys to be soup guys.
Absolutely. They're huge ramen guys. You're going back to Cincinnati. Are you gonna pop into Skyline
Oh
this
yeah,
weekend?
gonna try to hit it at least twice. I've heard the Greater Skyline Chili ice cream is back on the market too. I've never had that, so we're hoping to do that. Um, yeah, hoping no air traffic stuff. Supposed to fly out Thursday morning, flying United right into Covington, and then flying home Sunday afternoon. So my parents, my couple aunts, some neighbors of my mom are putting on a baby shower for my wife, which is great, very nice. And then my niece is a senior in high school, and she's in the high school musical, the Seussical. It's the Dr. Seuss one. So we're going to her performance Friday night. So it's going to be a jam packed weekend, TC, but should be fun.
Love that. Love
Yeah.
that. By the way, Freddie's in the choir too.
Oh,
He
nice.
signed up for the choir. I was like, I didn't.
Yeah.
That's awesome, Freddie.
Yeah. My mom had
Hmm.
a policy, she made us do some type of music up through junior high. So it was either like, if you're not playing an instrument, you gotta join the choir. So I spent a few years in the choir myself.
And you had your piano dalliance there for a while as well.
Yeah, yeah. TC, I got a topic I need to broach with you. We're kind of
Yeah.
on the topic of parents and music, and, um, It's come to my attention really over the last month or 2. I feel like my dad specifically, and I know he's gonna be listening to this, so dad, I apologize, but this needs to be addressed. My dad is very into creating AI songs. So he
Is that
did
like are
one.
we talking about like GarageBand AI or
I think it's like it must be an app. I think he made it. They had a fraternity brother kinda get together a couple months ago where they all went up to Michigan and hung out for a long weekend, and somebody made a song about that that was shared with me. I believe he
so
may
they threw
have
the
been.
lyrics into like they wrote the lyrics
Yeah,
and then it
yeah.
creates music or
Yeah, so I think it's
melodies
like the
around.
type of app where you almost like fill in some information and then you pick like the genre of music, the style, and it spits
Huh.
out this song. I TC candidly, I don't know what to do with this. Like,
Like, is this cool? Like, is this cool and endearing, or is this like weirdly dystopian? Right?
well, I guess that's my question for you. My first instinct is like this is pretty dystopian for me. Right? Like
Yeah.
taking the creative process and boiling it down to this. That said, I they're getting a kick out of it, and so who am I to, to rain on their parade? If they're having a blast doing it, then I think that's great. I don't know I don't know what this says about where we are as a society and where we're going, I guess. Those are the questions I wrestle with.
Well,
Um,
DJ sent over a news hit from I think it was from NPR about this Zania Monet, who is not a real person. She's a digital avatar created using artificial intelligence by a human songwriter, Nikki Jones. But she's the first AI artist to make a debut on the Billboard radio charts.
and see, I don't know what any of that means. I like who is writing the song, who the AI avatar is singing right? Like
Yeah, I don't know,
Thi
man.
this is the stuff where I'm like, I just don't like this. I don't
Yeah,
I don't like where this is going,
I'm with
Sean.
you. I'm with you. It's bad. It's just not good stuff, Randy. And
I'm worried we're gonna start getting songs to, like, mark family occasions, and I don't know how to. I mean, I hope he's listening. I don't know how to tell him that, like, I just
he should
I
send over one
can't
of his
listen to
songs,
these.
and we'll play it.
Okay, I'll do
You
that next time. I'll
you
try to
gotta
dig
you
up
you gotta
this
you gotta send at least me one of the songs, and then I'll
this Sigma Nu fraternity song. I'll try to dig up.
alright. Oh, Randy, I was talking to Deej about it a little bit, but the, London trip is awesome. You gotta go over. Like, if the Bengals ever play over there, you gotta go over for it. It
Yeah.
was
I
it's
feel like I feel like we unpacked that a little bit.
we did, didn't we? But it was, like,
Yeah.
beforehand, right?
No, I think it was maybe right after
Okay.
you had gotten back, I wanna say, or maybe we were just talking about it in person.
Yeah.
Maybe we were talking about it beforehand, and then I unpacked it when we were down in Frisco together.
Just what a great city to walk. I feel like
Yeah.
that's, just walks in London. I think
I mean, you
that's
called London I think you said it's your favorite city in the world.
yeah, I've never been to Tokyo. I think I like it more than Melbourne, which would probably be one of the other contenders for favorite city in the world. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, it's awesome. Love Stockholm, but yeah, like London's it, man. It's just really cool.
I think the way you did it going over for a football game was that's the way to do it. I think if the Bengals ever get a London game, I think I would really like to do that.
You been reading anything good?
I put this on the agenda and mainly just to get your opinion on something. So I just finished a book last night called The Last Ride of the Pony Express. And it's about this guy, Will Grant is the author. He's an outdoorsman, actually writes for Outside Magazine. And he went on a voyage essentially replicating the old Pony Express route. which started in St. Joseph's, Missouri, and goes west all the way to Sacramento, California. And it's like 2,000 miles. Obviously, you're crossing a lot of uh, desert terrain and mountains, and it was just fun. He kind of just writes about the journey. He took 2 horses with him. He wasn't trying to do it like as fast as possible. He was just
Mhm.
trying to do the route and kind of um but the book talks about the Pony Express, and I didn't quite realize or understand how short-lived the Pony Express was. Like, I think it was only in operation for maybe 18 months, or 24 months at maximum, and just, like, how ambitious the project was to essentially get mail from the westernmost civilization in, like, Missouri out to, California, right? And there was, like, in those days, it was, like, 60 or something, 1861. There was, like, really no infrastructure in between, and the goal was to get mail carried between those spots 2,000 miles in 10 days, and just all the logistics that went into trying to make that possible. And TC, where I net out, it's a good book, right? If anybody is looking for something, I just think we need to acknowledge that the Pony Express was sick. Like, I
It
think it
was.
used to be sick, and maybe that's a new category, as you think about things that are sick. But I think it was sick.
I would
So,
put, I first of all, I totally agree. Um, I think just mail in general, the concept of it is sick.
which we've talked
Uh,
about, I feel like, on this
yeah,
show. Yeah.
yeah. We should try to have like an old postmaster general on the on the show at some point.
Yeah, that's a great
Um,
idea.
but I think the reincarnation of the Pony Express down at SMU was also sick as
Yes.
well.
Yes. Which
Think-
led to, Craig James and the infamous
Remember the
Craig James
five?
5. Yeah, exactly. So
Eric
I think that
Dickerson.
whole yeah, I think that whole lineage is I
Yeah.
think we just need to recognize it.
And Rhett Lashley seems like he's doing a pretty good job of bringing SMU back from the brink too. So,
Yeah, yeah.
good stuff there. Well, hey, let's thank our next sponsor. That's Stone Creek. Uh, this is pretty topical as well. In the midst of the government shutdown, ups and downs, impending doom at the airports, and Phil Mickelson's defunct oil pipeline. Shout out to Sable Offshore. Let's reset with something that's actually working in this country. Stone Creek Coffee. The team at Stone Creek has been roasting in Milwaukee for over 30 years, just quietly doing things the right way. Sweetness, clarity, balance. That's their obsession. They're doing God's work to combat gridlock. As we approach the holidays, they're hooking up the coffee drinking proletariat with tons of fun deals, starting this week with a little escalated offer. Go to stonecreekcoffee.com and use one of these codes depending upon how stocked you want your cabinet. Code SCC10 off gets you 10% off orders under 40%. And that's S C is in cat, C is in cat, not SEC as in it means more or Phil Mickelson investigations or whatever.
Of course.
Uh SCC 15 off gets you 15% off orders over $40. And SCC 20 off gets you 20% off orders over $70. Again, that's SCC 20 off. This promo is for everyone. Doesn't have to be your first order. It runs now through Sunday. So go make your move. Personally, I'm a big fan of the Cream City roast. It's just kind of everyday, smooth, sweet, not trying too hard, not over roasted or over extracted.
That's
Um,
I have that
you
in
got
my
that?
right now. Yeah.
There you go. But honestly, everything they offer up hits pretty hard. They had this coffee cherry one for a while. I dipped into the 50% half calf uh one that they've got the other
Oh,
day as
interesting.
well. Yeah,
Yeah.
so kind of trying to get that going. But yeah, so Drew he was out at the NIT. He got a ton of great feedback on the Oktoberfest coffee that they had out earlier this fall. Always
Hmm.
cooking up great stuff for the season. So again, stonecreekcoffee.com, punch in your code, get yourself some Milwaukee made coffee before tariff volatility and the next government shutdown takes out your coffee or in caffeine supply chain. What's the deal with the shutdown? Is it off or is it I saw like the Senate had
Yeah, the Senate
voted.
voted on a deal to get it reopened, and I think it's currently going to the House.
Okay.
It's gotta pass the House, which it sounds like it will pass the House. So I think the government shutdown is gonna end maybe officially today even, TC.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I saw DT was going after the air traffic controllers who had, stopped showing up for work or been calling out after
What do you think
not
about
getting
that?
paid for. Like, I wouldn't demonize any of the remaining air traffic controllers we have
No. How
working,
do we
like.
ask anybody to just keep showing up for work when they're not getting paid? Like, I think that's absurd on the face.
Oh, and just the fact that, like, you're gonna need them either way, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's just
Right.
kinda stupid of like, "All right, we are already at a deficit. Why would you further, demonize those who." Yeah, so I imagine morale was pretty poor, and, honestly, I've been impressed at, like, how resilient the system was to begin with. Like, I thought it was gonna break a lot sooner, so props to the air traffic controllers for keeping us flying. I've had plenty of flights last 3 or 4 weeks, some of them even on American, Randy, and listen, I gotta
Oh
hand it
my
to
god.
American. They got everybody home from the NIT in, like, pretty smooth fashion,
Wow. Wow.
so I took
No,
Delta
I
to
mean, you're
Atlanta,
right about
but
that.
yeah,
I was reading something today that they think, the ripples that have been in the air traffic system probably aren't just gonna go away
yeah,
right when the government opens. It's probably gonna bleed out into the future. So, yeah, I'm like I said, I'm fingers crossed our flight home to Cincinnati is unaffected, but should
yeah.
know today or tomorrow.
Got a few things in the air travel, recent travels, kind of, just travel in general, thing. U.S. Representative Nancy Mace of South Carolina. I think we had
This
discussed
is
this.
your girl, I think.
Is it?
I
I think
think I thought at one time you were a big Nancy Mace fan.
doesn't ring a bell, but I believe she's a South Carolina Republican congresswoman. She's also, I think, running for governor of South
She's
Carolina.
nuts. Like,
Um, she had some sort of, incident with law enforcement at Charleston International Airport. Um, Basically, allegedly called them effing incompetent and berated them repeatedly, according to the incident report. Um, she was at a, uh, I think she was, I don't know, coming in off a flight and just kept making derogatory remarks towards them, and I guess there was some miscommunication, and some of they didn't know where to meet her when she was coming in, and yeah, so she just went off on him. And now, Randy, she is suing. She has hired our guy Larry Clayman.
that's always a
uh,
great sign.
P and Lady J's former attorney.
Yeah.
With she's announced plans to sue Charleston Airport and others for defamation.
Mm.
Um, so it's saying that airport and airline employees coordinated and conspired to create a false and misleading incident reports, about the incident. So, and she said it was politically motivated and just one of many security breaches, a pattern of neglect and hostility unique to the Charleston International Airport. So, we'll see what Mr. Clayman and Judicial Watch and Freedom Watch have to say about that.
She was the one. She got somebody arrested because she said that they shook her hand. Like, the way that this person shook her hand was like assault to her. There's just a lot going on with Nancy Mace, TC. There's just a lot.
Well,
Um,
she's kinda rising up into that MT
yeah, that's
MTG,
right.
who's the other one out by you? Bobert? Lobo?
Oh god, yeah.
You should
Bober just
you should have talked to the mayor about Lobo.
oh god. She had a Halloween she's just so god, she's just a nasty person. She is just a nasty person.
We've had Secretary, Mayor Pete, Civilian Pete, and Sean Duffy, the current, Secretary of Transportation squaring off on X, the everything app, here the last couple days.
Do you
Uh,
do you
yeah,
think that maybe we could use our platform here to maybe host a forum,
town
bring
hall.
bring both of them on? Yeah. Kind of facilitate like, "Hey, we don't need to be squabbling on X, the everything app. Like, come on the trap draw and let's
Yeah,
talk this out."
we're the foremost logistics and transportation, adjacent podcast out there.
That's
Um,
right.
and we're showing our range as well. Matthew Ice, and Clayton Kershaw, AJ Ellis coming on last week.
It's all
They're-
happening on the trap draw, folks. Like, I don't know what more you need to see.
What else? Randy, this just broke this morning, right before we went on. Have you ever flown through Dulles?
I have. Yeah.
You know those mobile lounges?
I do. The first I remember the first time just being like, "What is" yeah, just being
Yeah.
so perplexed on, like, where I was going and what was about to happen.
One of them crashed last night. Overnight. It kind of went in like diagonally and I guess hit the terminal really hard and
Huh.
crashed. 18 people hospitalized by it.
That's like, how fast could it I don't remember it
Right?
going that fast.
It's crazy.
Yeah, huh. I guess people are
So
just standing around not expecting, like, a
yeah,
sudden jolt, probably knocked over, but huh.
yeah. What else? We had the UPS cargo jet. I think it was an MD-11 crash in Louisville. That
Oh,
was
that was
crazy.
terrible. Yeah.
Yeah, awful video to watch. What else? I was tipped off to the Sky Club at B18 in Atlanta. Has some of the world's best ice. Listener sent that over, and it was. I checked it out on Sunday morning. It was
To say
fine.
world's best ice is such
I
a
bet like the world's
ridiculous
best
claim.
ice is the stuff that comes out of the ones at Sonic or like the soft ice. You
Of
know the
course.
the soft kind of pellet crunchy ice. Like that's the world's best ice. So yeah, actually another follower sent this over. The hospitality company Sonder is in default. I haven't really tracked this at all, but he said they're in default and they're having a big liquidity crisis. And it's kind of like one of those things that they're like semi Airbnb, semi apartments, but they've had a licensing deal with Marriott for the last
Hmm.
I think last like 6 months or so. A kind of newest, Marriott branded property. So Marriott terminated their agreement this week, and thousands of Bonvoy members had their bookings canceled. A bunch of people already in house at these places were asked to vacate within 24 hours notice. On property employees were
That's
finding out via
tough.
Google. Disgruntled employee or disgruntled guests coming down and freaking out. Just not good, Randy. So
I gotta admit, I was not familiar with Sonder. I must not be the demographic, but yeah, they're talking about, premium design forward apartments and intimate boutique hotels serving the modern traveler.
yeah,
I don't know if I was ever at a Sonder property, TC.
I think you would have probably known it.
Yeah.
And then in other big news, the Sawgrass Marriott got purchased, Randy. It's like the last domino to fall in the whole,
Is this tour
live
related?
world of golf. No, the tour didn't own it. The guy that runs um Dreamfinders Homes,
Okay.
Zalupski, and then the people that or the firm that owns Palmetto Bluff, along with some other big resorts up in South Carolina, they kind of went in together and bought it, and yeah, so we'll see. Zalupski's making moves. He just purchased the Rays for a couple
I was
bill.
gonna say that was the guy that bought the baseball
Yeah,
team. Okay.
yeah.
Alright.
So we'll see what happens. And then, yeah, I've gotten reports of all sorts of bridge strikes by cube trucks in Durham, North Carolina, Australia, and out in Washington State as well.
Keep
So
sending those, folks. We need to know about those,
those
please.
are a highlight. Those are a highlight. So, all right, we got football. We got some other sports. We got monitoring. First, let's thank our friends in HMB.
Okay.
Uh, Randy, it's really cold here today. It was the high or the low overnight was like 35. We had to
Wow, that is chilly.
bring in some of our plants and put blankets over stuff. Always a weird feeling, but that's one of the reasons I can wear the H&B Wallace hoodie that I'm wearing on this here show. They've also got new premium merino cashmere blend styles. They got the Logan hoodie, the Cunningham quarter zip, the Shaw crew neck, clean, soft look for shoulder season heading into winter. They got their signature fit, subtle design details. Got a new Swenson full zip jacket. It's got thermore, kind of an insulation layer in there as well. Their holiday collection is live on the site. These are awesome gifts, like kind of timeless design, timeless taste. And we had a bunch of good feedback on the H&B podcast we did a few weeks ago with John and Alex too. So thanks everybody
Yeah,
for listening to that. But yeah, Baxter corduroy pants, another favorite of mine. It's perfect weight for kind of fall and holiday parties and that sort of thing. So trap 10 at hbgolf.com, 10% off your first order, along with our NLU code. That is the only H&B code on the market. So trap 10 at hbgolf.com. And yeah, support another just great business. Love those guys.
they do. They do great stuff. Thank you. Thank you to H&B. Where
So
what direction you wanna go, TC? You wanna get off some Brian Kelly takes? Should we
yeah, I mean, I feel like we've kind of mistimed this one. I think most of the takes are already out there. The latest is
I
for
was gonna say, if you know us at all, I think you can find our I mean, this goes back to when Brian Kelly was at honestly, when he
Central
was at Central
Michigan.
Michigan for me, but yeah, certainly University of Cincinnati, of course, Notre Dame, and now LSU. It's great when everybody just comes out to shit on Brian Kelly.
Yeah. I mean, that story about LaFleur and one of the other coaches, like
Sala, yeah, Sala.
Saleh getting invited to go to his house when they were at Central Michigan when they were what, like graduate assistants.
Yeah, they were grad
Uh,
assistants, thought they were being invited to this kinda nice dinner party, and they get there, and Brian Kelly's like, "I need you guys to essentially be the valets, park cars for the party. Thank you." And as they said, like, they both said that night, they were like, "If we ever get in the head coaching position, we're not gonna treat people like this." That's 2 NFL head coaches on the record about, like, how shitty Brian Kelly is. That's unbelievable.
oh, it's crazy how many stories there are. I guess T-Bob, is it Abear? I think Abear he came out and said that there are allegedly stories of Brian Kelly getting off like 400 rounds of golf the
Yeah.
last
Yeah.
couple
Yeah.
seasons down at Baton Rouge playing golf. So, uh, but I guess LSU is now going for a for cause termination, or has been all along. I'd heard some things. I was kind of hoping it was going to go in this direction, which I guess he's declined their offers to reduce the buyout and that sort of thing. He wants his whole 53 million, and they don't want to pay it, so they're going to
Yeah.
try to. I'm
It's
sure they
definitely
had
disputed.
PIs tailing him and stuff.
I was gonna say, just breaking this morning, Brian Kelly has filed suit against the university. So this is gonna be hopefully this gets really good.
The
Let's
governor,
not settle this.
yeah, the governor hopped in. Of course, he suggested that DT could be a good coach down there. Who should get the job, Randy? Like, who would be your?
I have no idea, honestly. I mean, I feel like Baton Rouge and LSU, like, it's such a unique place and, like, a unique fan base in a lot of ways that I I mean, I guess I would just default to somebody that's, like, from Louisiana, I
Coach
guess, but
O?
I yeah, like, I don't know, I don't have that name on the top of my head, to be quite honest with you. I feel like we're such a in a weird I would love to get your like, it feels like we're in such a weird spot with coaching where there's, like, such a great amount of turnover, but I'm not sure who, like, the next big like, there don't seem to be a ton of, like, guys at mid-major schools that have, like, a bunch of juice right now that are like, "Oh my god, everybody's gonna be
Yeah,
vying for that guy." So I really don't know. I mean, maybe they, like, recycle somebody that's getting fired somewhere else. Who knows?
yeah. I totally agree with you on the just lack of a bench or lack of a like yeah, it's just a bunch of retreads. And then a lot of these guys like they're not actually being able to coach, right? They're just
Yeah,
bringing in transfer class and all that sort of stuff. Or there's guys that are good coaches, but can't or don't want to recruit. I think of like Dan Mullen on that front.
yeah,
Um, so yeah, it's I don't know, man. It's weird, and it's like if dudes are gonna get fired from one place for not winning enough, but then go like and the expectations are just so high everywhere that
that's right.
like there's no like nobody's gonna be happy, and
I
it's like Kiffin, for instance. Kiffin's had what, like one I don't think they've gone to the playoffs yet. And I know Ole Miss isn't like a top tier coaching job, but like and he's done an unbelievable job there. Like
he's
I
probably
think
gonna be the guy everybody's vying for, and,
yeah,
like,
I really want him to go to Florida personally. I think that would be the
Tennessee
perfect
fired
fit.
him, Oakland Raiders it's like it's not like
USC
he's
fired
had.
him. Yeah.
Yeah, but he is doing a good job at Ole Miss. I
Yeah.
I don't know,
Yeah,
man. I
it's
feel like Kirk
crazy.
Cignetti has, like,
It's like broken
almost
everybody's
triggered
brain.
all of this. Yeah, because I think people look at, like, him in Indiana, and they're like, "Well, if they can do that,
Yeah.
we're gonna fire our coach because he's not doing that." It's
Crazy,
wild.
the new guy at JMU where Signetti came from, he's balling out too. Like, and
Yeah,
he'll probably be a big candidate in this cycle as well.
yeah.
I tell you who Auburn should hire. Auburn should hire Rush Probst.
I
Like,
knew
I
you were
think
gonna
that
say
would
it.
be
Why
it's
not,
just
right?
I was talking to Wolfie about it. He was like, "Hey, like you guys haven't given any Rush Probst updates lately." Rush Probst has won 9 in a row, Randy.
Oh my
Started out the
god.
season 0-2, won 9 in a row. He took over, I think, like, first month of high school football season. Uh, I think their previous coach got suspended. He stepped in, Kusa Christian, and, he's just they're getting ready for the playoffs this week. So, huge thing. He nabbed his 300th win here recently as well,
Huh.
300th career win.
Congrats
So,
to Coach Probst, sincerely. What
uh,
what did you make of I thought it was interesting hearing the Sarkisian kinda rumors, being floated for, like, the Titans job or just that he would be interested in an NFL job. At the time, I was like, "Is he just trying to get out ahead of, like, getting fired at Texas?" But they've since won a couple games, so I'm not
yeah.
sure if that's as hot of a seat for him, but
Yeah, yeah, it was pretty vociferous the way they came out and de denied those and refuted those and, like, had, uh, Jimmy Sexton kind of like, I think that's the other thing. Jimmy Sexton is just trying to cause chaos everywhere, right?
I guess. I mean,
'Cause he's everybody's agent and
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
but, yeah, I don't know. I think yeah, it's like, who's Penn State gonna hire? Like,
Do
I'd
they
heard
want
from
Rule?
several reputed no, he just signed an extension at Nebraska. Is Matt Campbell
Okay.
gonna go anywhere? Does anybody want Matt
Like, the
Campbell at this
shine is
point?
off Matt Campbell, I
Right?
know. Yeah.
Urban declined. Sources told me that Urban declined a $12 million a year offer from Penn State. Um, does Heartline
Gruden?
go somewhere
Is
from
Gruden getting
Buck
back in?
Tech? Yeah, I think Gruden would be perfect fit at Arkansas or somewhere like that.
I think the
Um,
question too is, like, which of these guys getting fired probably are, like, good coaches, right? Like, who's deserving of another shot versus who is, like, a dumpster fire? And I
yeah,
don't know
no,
the answer
yeah,
to that, but it's like, these guys just didn't forget how to coach. I think it's more just, like, circumstances and like you said, you're turning over such a big amount of your roster. It's just such a different job than maybe it was even
yeah.
5 years ago.
I like James Franklin. I don't like the guy, but he seems like a decent football coach that, like, at a school with
Yeah,
reasonable expectations, he's gonna succeed,
he'll
right?
go win 8, 9 games somewhere. Yeah,
Yeah.
if that's what you're if that's, like, okay for your fan base,
I'm fascinated to see
absolutely.
what Michigan State does. They just chip their guy off. I bet he goes back to Oregon State. You've got yeah, there's just so many jobs open. So, and then same thing with NFL. Like we've already started, Dabble got fired yesterday.
Yeah.
Your guy Brian Callahan.
Yeah. I think there's gonna be a ton of NFL openings, I feel like. Probably not till the end of the season. I'm trying to think who else is gonna get fired in season. Maybe, like, Mike McDaniel, but I feel like they would have already done it
I
if
was
they were gonna do it.
I was blown away, like, that team hasn't quit on him. Like,
Yeah,
props
and then
to
they go
him.
out and kick the Bills' ass. Yeah, I do you think
What,
Tomlin
I
I
don't know. I think it would have to be a mutual thing with Tomlin.
yeah.
Um, yeah. What I mean, let's talk Bengals and Jags. It's
This is what people want.
yeah,
Bengals, I
like,
don't have a big Bengals update. They were on a bye. I the big news, obviously the defense is a flaming disaster, like the worst, truly one of the worst defenses of all time. But they just announced yesterday that Burrow has come back to practice, essentially has opened his 21-day window to get reinstated from the IR. And it sounds like all indications are he's trying to play Thanksgiving night. They play at Baltimore. That's the game he's targeting. But it's like you can't even get excited about Burrow coming back because
are
like
they gonna
literally
lose
since
everything
Flacco,
beforehand?
yeah, Flacco, they've had the number 1 offense in the NFL since Flacco arrived, and they can't, it's like Burrow's not
Dude,
as
the
good as
Jets
he is,
game
he's
was
not what's holding them back. It's literally they can't stop anybody.
after the Jets game, you texted us and you were like, I think it's time for me to stop watching the games. Like,
Yeah,
it's
and I'll
not.
admit I watched the Bears game the next week, and it was more heartbreaking than the Jets game was. Like, they just find different ways to, like, lose in spectacular fashion. It's crazy. It's
Oh,
crazy, TC.
I saw there was something floating around on it was on Reddit, it was on X, the Everything app, just about this guy that called today to cancel his Bengals season tickets, and the
Oh, yeah,
representative on
they
the
were,
other
like,
line,
guilt tripping him or something?
guilt trip and argumentative and super defensive. Yeah, I was like, yeah, like I'm frustrated with the front office, lack of a real scouting department, how the prices keep going up every year. And they just got defensive and said things like, "This is the front office who drafted Joe Burrow and T. Higgins." The last thing being asked to me was if I wanted to buy cheap tickets or to pay Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. That was great.
God, what a
Uh,
disaster. Our
I
friend the
feel so
sensei.
bad. I
I
feel
know
so
this.
bad for you between that and the Reds
Oh my god.
ownership.
It's just bad, TC. It's the definition of just, like, cheap Midwest. It's
Yeah.
not good.
What were you gonna say about Bob?
No, Sturm just always just tells me he's so sorry for the ownership situation in Cincinnati, for the Bengals specifically. It's
Yeah.
it's tough.
Sturm got another just gift from the gods today with Nico getting fired. I feel like
I know. I know.
every week there's just something new for Sturm to talk about. Like Jerry was camped out in West Texas looking at this $100 billion
The oil
oil.
fields, right? Yeah.
Yeah, just crazy.
Uh,
Um, what else?
well,
Oh, I saw
anything you
your
said
guy.
the Jags. Anything new with your
Yeah.
Jags?
Oh, honestly, man, like Sunday was one of the worst. Like obviously the 28-3
You're
Super
starting to
Bowl
feel a
loss with
little
the
bit of my
bang with
Bengals
the
misery here with the Jags,
yeah.
aren't you?
The 28-3 loss, the Falcons in the Super Bowl is still go down as like the worst thing I've ever seen football wise. But I think like the Jags are like they're really just cumulatively, you know, their body of work is starting to really accumulate. So
They've lost some bad football games.
yeah, they're still 5-4. But yeah, just letting Davis Mills run down the field on you, score was it 20, 21 or 24 unanswered there in the second half, and the pick six at the end. Yeah, people are really starting to turn on Trevor here in town. It's not a good scene. It's not a
That's
good
interesting.
situation. Yeah,
Yeah.
like there's been a rumbling for a while, not dissimilar to what we've had on the ball knowers of just hey, like is he the guy? And yeah, over the last 4 to 6 weeks, it's been really tough to defend and just tough to find any answers other than like, man, like this guy just might not be it.
Like, something's
So,
just missing, right?
yeah,
Is that the general feeling? Like,
because it seems like Cohen,
he should check pretty much all the boxes, and it just doesn't add
Yeah,
up.
and he's had a bunch, drop passes and penalties and all of that stuff, but at some point, like, this team just seems incapable of rising above it, and it's a pretty weirdly constructed roster to begin with. Like, they probably need a couple, you know, year or 2 more of kind of washing some guys out, and cleaning the
Yeah.
cap up a little bit, but yeah, it was, like Walker Little's a turnstile at left tackle right now. It's just tough.
That's a
Yeah,
tough spot to be in, TC. You have my sympathies. I feel
I
like
know.
we're
Thank you.
a little
Yeah,
bit birds of a feather here with the teams we root
yeah.
for.
I mean, Trevor's lost he lost Gustav and Freddie even. Like, they're even pissed.
So, like,
So,
you've really lost the locker room.
yeah.
If
Yeah.
yeah, that's tough.
I did in better news, I did see there was a story from Willie Gillespie, who's kind of one of the OU beat writers, Eddie Radosevich, who's a longtime trap draw listener, friend of the program, tweeted this. There was an OU fan who took his boat down the Arkansas, Mississippi rivers and then up to the Tennessee River for the OU UT game.
That's
I got
awesome.
such a kick out of that.
Yeah.
Love, loved that. Like Vol Navy welcoming him in and all of that, so it's
We
cool.
That's one of the cooler game day traditions, I think, in college football that I've never participated in, and I was gonna say we have a buddy, our buddy Drew, is from Knoxville, lives in Knoxville, has a boat, like, I feel like we need to take him up on,
Yeah,
like, the pregame boating tradition sometime, TC.
I think that'd be awesome. I actually went to the cocktail party, the Florida Georgia game. My mom and dad were in town for it. We went with some friends. I didn't go to the game, but I just went to the tailgate with Freddie, and I took a ferry across the river to get
Oh, that's
to
cool.
tailgate. It was cool, but yeah, there's like I think when they finish the stadium here, there's going to be a lot more boat docks, and it's going to be a lot easier to like bring your boat down to the stadium. But University of
Yeah.
Washington's got that too at Husky Stadium. Yeah, being able to take a boat
Oh,
to
right.
anything is
Yeah, yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
So
It is, it is.
yeah. Last thing I had on the football front was just your guy Dre Kirkpatrick, who I've never liked. This made me feel so old. His son, Dre Kirkpatrick Jr., was suspended. He's a defensive back for Alabama. He was suspended after getting arrested and yeah, suspended indefinitely. He reckless endangerment and attempting to elude and speeding. So Balnor Kalen down there not gonna have it. And but yeah,
No.
just I feel like we were it feels like 10 years ago that we were, that Dre Kirkpatrick was like at National Signing Day signing with Alabama and then getting drafted by the Bengals. So
By Los Bengals. Yeah, very disappointing career in Cincinnati, I think, for what they had hoped.
he was like one
Honest
of the first guys that they like totally whiffed on as far as defensive backs. And then they
Oh,
just
they had a
kept whiffing
string
and whiffing
there.
and
Yeah,
whiffing.
they yeah, they hit on a couple and then, yeah, they just started whiffing. It was like Drake Kirkpatrick, Willie Jackson was supposed to be pretty
Is he
good
from
at one
Michigan?
point.
Yeah.
I think he was the Pitt guy.
Yeah, okay.
Leon Hall, who did have, like, a couple good years, but he was another
Yeah.
DB. He was the Michigan guy they drafted. Yeah, they've just been hunting.
Darqueze Dennard, I think. Yeah.
Darqueze Dennard, that's another
Yeah.
name. He was a Michigan State
Michigan State.
guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. They've
Yeah.
they've been hunting secondary pieces and just yeah, the hit rate is not good.
Transition to other sports. Okay, the NBA, like the whole gambling ring. We can get into that in the future, probably in an NBA specific episode.
I guess the only thing I have to say between this and the baseball stuff that the indictments of the Guardians pitchers, like, it feels like there probably is a lot of this going on, TC. Like, I don't think they've, like, sniffed out the handful of individuals taking part in stuff like this.
And I imagine we'll see some plea deals and some
Yeah.
kind of untangling this web.
I think it's gonna get
Right.
a lot worse before it gets better. Yeah.
I totally
I
agree.
I I don't know. Doesn't it feel like we're gonna get to a place eventually where it's like doing away with prop betting on like
Yeah,
I feel like that's where this is all headed. But
I agree. In other just mad as hell stuff, reinstated AMs in basketball
it's
just
so
came across
stupid.
my desk. There's
So
G
stupid.
leaguers that are going back to college hoops. I saw like Cam Reddish who played like years in the NBA.
Yeah. I yeah, I mean, college
It's
athletics, it's
insane.
just yeah, it's insane. That's exactly right. I mean, don't really have much more like, what are we doing? It's so stupid.
Your Rockies. You're a longtime loyal Rockies
I
fan. I
wanted
saw
your
they
opinion
hired
on this. You
Paul
must have been
DePodesta.
yeah. What do you make of this? I know you were loving his work with the Browns organization. I'm sorry
I
that
don't
he
know,
got
man.
hired
I mean,
away.
I feel like any change is probably an upgrade for the Rockies, right? Like just some of the Athletic had a really good piece a couple weeks ago on just how dysfunctional and behind the times their front office is. And
Yeah, it
yeah,
sounded
like it seems like one of
really
the
bad.
cooler opportunities though of like, all right, there's zero expectations. There's a total blank slate. Like you can put your fingerprint on the organization immediately.
Yeah. Which I'm like, is Paul DePodesta the guy to hire in that situation? Like, he's had his shots.
Yeah, it's true.
But I think he will have a plan, and I think he will move the organization towards whatever that plan is. I just don't know if it's gonna be a successful plan or not.
NBA wise, how your Kings doing?
Not good, not
Oh,
good. Tough schedule, but yeah. Went to see him in Denver a couple weeks ago. It was a close game. They ended up losing by 6. Yeah, man, they're just the Chicago Bulls of the Western Conference. It's kinda sad where they are.
the current Chicago Bulls of the Western Conference.
Yeah, well, and, like, not even the current Bulls because, like, the current Bulls are actually off to, like, a pretty good start out east, but
Okay. The
yeah,
Bulls of the last
exactly.
10 years.
Like
Okay.
your 35 to 40 win Chicago Bulls teams.
Okay. Oh,
Having Russ on the team is fun. He's crazy, he plays hard. I appreciate that. Um, there's some guys like I like watching. They're just not winning games against the good teams.
yeah.
I'm afraid it could be a long season.
What'd you make of Cade Cunningham going 14 of 45 last night for
I
46
actually did
points in the
not
triple
yeah,
double?
I did not know that he went 14 of 45 until I saw this on the agenda. I was just perusing scores and I saw he scored 46. That's high volume there, TC.
It is high
Not
volume.
yeah, not a great night, but they did get the win, so I don't know, maybe that's did what he had to do, I guess.
I don't think I've watched an NBA game yet this season. Is there any like themes emerging thus far or
Um I mean, I'm not breaking news, but Victor Wembanyama is like he's here and he's a problem. He This is kind of going to be, I think, the breakout year for him, and I think the Spurs are going to make the playoffs and be a tough out. The Thunder just really really good. No surprises there. I think the
saw
surprises on
Coach Spo's house burned down
yeah, I saw that
this
too.
week? That was crazy.
Everybody was okay, but yeah, that's I'm trying to think on the bad side. I think the LA Clippers are off to a bad start. I want to say they're 3-7,
There's some
and
distractions going on out there.
yeah, I'm trying to think out east if there are any like big surprise. The Bulls I think started 6-1. They've lost a couple. I don't think they're like one of the best teams.
Yeah.
I There's too much offense. TC. That's my big takeaway, guys. It's too easy to score the basketball in my opinion right now, and I think they
Huh.
call the games in such a way that I just watch offensive guys create contact, dictate contact, and so often get rewarded with free throws. I just think we got to do something to make it a little bit more difficult to score the ball.
Kinda de-skilled scoring a little bit.
Yeah, yeah, and just like guys that uh, the,
Like,
it's
they're not
like
like bona fide stars that are getting
I
35,
mean, I'm
40 a
watching
game.
Austin Reeves score 45 points, and like Austin Reeves is a good player, but like
Yeah.
he's just a foul merchant. Like these guys, it's the James Harden effect. Like everybody just knows how to draw fouls now,
Ugh.
and the refs are calling it. And yeah, it's just I don't know. I wish they would not bail out the offensive guys as much. Like when they're
Yeah.
leaning or when they're quite obviously drawing contact to get fouled. I Come playoff time, it usually balances back out and it becomes much more difficult. But yeah. some of the regular season games can be a bit tough.
Okay. Are you gonna get to any Kings games?
They come back to Denver in a couple weeks, hoping to get to that. I bought a 4-game pack. It was like a create your own pack for the Nuggets. So I have the 2 Kings games where they come this year. I got a Spurs game and then a Houston Rockets game.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's cool.
I'm
I need to take the boys down to
excited.
a Los Magic game. El Magic, Los Magic.
Yeah. They were a team that was
Yeah.
struggling out of the gate, but they've started to win a few games here, kind of finding their stride. TC,
Uh,
we got our Miami Redhawks have a big game tomorrow night against the Toledo Rockets, or maybe
we talking
tonight as
football
people
or
are
we talking football or
football.
basketball?
Yeah,
Football. Okay.
Wednesday
Well, I saw we
night,
lost last week.
tough one.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a
You
good football
What
game.
was the stat that you gave me though? Yeah, lost to OU, battle of the bricks. What was the stat you threw out? I don't know if that was before or after the OU game
Oh,
about
Chuck.
Chuck Martin.
Yeah, Chuck Martin. This was before the OU game. Chuck Martin had won regular season MAC games. He was like 21-3 over his last 3 years in the
Crazy.
MAC. And they're 4-1 this year. It wasn't a debilitating loss to OU, but it kinda
Kind of
takes away
log
their
jam at
margin
the
of
top
error.
of
Yeah.
the MAC. Yeah.
Really need
How's
the
the
Toledo
basketball team?
game. They're good. They are fun. They are very offensive minded. They have a very bad non-conference schedule.
I saw they
Um,
scored like 124 the other night or something.
yeah, it was against like an NAIA team. I think they really have a chance to win a lot of basketball games this year, but it's just going to come down to they got to win the MAC tournament to get to the NCAA tournament. But they do have a good team. They're
Okay.
worth watching. Yeah.
Saw Neil's Columbia Lions basketball team was they were on national TV last night playing
Yeah, who did I
UConn.
see they were that's who it was. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Billy Hurley's outfit. So, and then hockey team.
Yeah, our Miami hockey team, 7-1 TC.
I've
More
seen him in Buccigross's, personal rankings, which is
yeah,
rare air.
exciting times. Miami hockey was so bad for so long, and now I think there's 7 wins already this year, like more than they've won in the last couple years combined.
Huh,
But they split with Arizona State first 2 conference games. They play in a very hard conference, and all those games are coming up. So we're gonna find out if they're actually any good or if they were
is
just
Arizona State in that conference now?
yeah, they were the latest team to
Wow.
join. Yeah, the national what is it? The National Collegiate Hockey Conference.
Yeah.
I think they were the 9th team, and then I think they're getting a 10th maybe next year. Uh, St. Thomas up in
Okay.
Minnesota, I wanna say.
Which I also didn't know that Northern Illinois was leaving the MAC.
For the Mountain West, yeah, what do you think about that?
I totally missed that, like, in the off season. I don't like it. It sucks.
Yeah, it stinks for football, but good riddance for all the other sports. We got UMass coming for all sports, so that's kind of the trade that they made, which
I
I
feel like
like for
UMass has just
basketball.
been playing footsie with the MAC for the last
Yeah.
however many decades.
But they finally
So,
got him to join for basketball, which I think will be good
good.
for the league. Yeah.
Okay. Real quick, just some stuff we're monitoring. Any snow out there yet, Randy? Like we've got
No,
this
TC.
early season polar vortex going on, but no snow yet.
Yeah. No, we hate it. It's one of the latest first snows of all time in Denver. I think we're on track for like the 3rd latest snowfall. There is snow in the forecast next week, but
Huh.
have not had any. I think the ski mountains, it's one of the worst winters I was reading in like the last decade as far as snowfall this time of year. So
Interesting.
hoping it changes.
I
Yeah.
think it's a La Nina year too, which is I think it's supposed to be pretty good snowfall. I think farther north of you guys,
Okay.
like up in
Yeah, maybe up
Montana
into
and
like
Idaho
Montana.
and the
Yeah.
Canadian Rockies, but we'll monitor that. Brings me no joy to say it's popping off again between Thailand and Cambodia.
Damn.
Ceasefire is off.
Damn.
Yeah, so we will continue to monitor that. This one came across the radar last week. It just kind of floored me. This drought in Iran, in the capital in
Yeah.
Tehran. They've
Sounds
had
not good.
a the the president issued a stark warning amid the worsening water crisis throughout the nation's capital, stating that the government may be forced to order the total evacuation of Tehran if the water situation does not improve by December. Karaj Dam, which has a max capacity of 180 million cubic feet and supplies drinking water to a couple of provinces there, is said to be at 7% of its storage capacity, with clean water expected to run out in roughly 2 weeks, according to the director of Karaj Water Affairs. That's crazy.
That is crazy. How do you evacuate an entire city like
Yeah.
that? Huh.
Yeah,
We'll
that'll be
definitely gotta
interesting
keep
to track.
monitoring that.
Yeah, and we'll continue to monitor the Japanese military. They've been deployed to counter a surge in all these bear attacks in, the Akita prefecture up in the northern part of the country. So,
Okay,
you
interesting.
ever see any
There's
bears out in the
no.
mountains
No, bears
listening?
scare me. You know, it's always a big that's probably one of my biggest fears now is I don't go hiking a lot, but the few times I've been out hiking, especially alone, is like, man, I really don't want to see a bear or a mountain lion. Just totally unprepared. You know, the bear thing though, they do say I do know if it's brown, lay down. If it's black, fight back. And if it's and then the joke is if it's white, say goodnight. Because if you ever run into a polar bear, you're you're dead.
Well, I hope God forbid you were out bird watching or something like that and
I know, right?
ran into
I
a
I
bear.
actually a brown bear would really scare me though, but I almost there's, like, something about, like, an idea of, like, a mountain lion that's almost more
Just
disturbing
getting
to me.
mauled,
Yeah,
just like how
because 'cause they're
quick
almost,
they
like, a
are.
little bit more I don't know, they
Yeah,
seem just a little bit more with it maybe to me than a bear
yeah.
might, but
I saw a
yeah.
couple coyotes somewhere recently. Um, Coyotes are fascinating, but, Randy, we got the pythons down here in Florida. DJ and I talked about that a couple weeks ago. Had a listener reach out and, he was telling me about this company that's helping with the python eradication
Hmm,
here in Florida, called Inversa. They actually take the python skin and turn it into high-end fashion items.
well, you could get a nice
I
pair
would
of boots or something.
Yeah, probably one of those belts that Mickelson wears,
Yeah,
something like
yeah.
that.
I
So,
I I'm honestly shocked you don't have a snakeskin belt, TC.
I don't. Yeah, crocodile skin, any of that stuff. So,
Yeah.
uh, what else? Oh, there's a pod of orcas in the Gulf of California that, has repeatedly hunted juvenile white sharks to feast on their livers.
Huh.
I know
W
we do
whales are
monitor the whale
fascinating.
space.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was per the New York Times.
No,
So,
I don't know if I speak for you, like, this is a pro whale household. I
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
down with whatever the whales are cooking up.
This, Mr. Eric Higuera, who is the marine biologist at, this scientific organization that's been tracking this stuff, said the interaction between these 2 predators felt like, quote, "too much beauty." Just I guess this pod of orcas was hitting a great white shark, flipping it upside down, and then pushing it below the surface, only to come back up with its liver. Like, truly, like,
Sick.
they're, like, harvesting its organs.
Yeah. Yeah. I was just thinking,
Crazy.
I'm like, how do they go about hunting a shark? Yeah. Huh.
Yeah. So, what else we got? I threw the ESPN YouTube TV fiasco on here. Finally
Are
broke
you
down last night and did like the Fubo TV free trial. And I guess we'll just
Yeah.
cancel that once, hopefully,
Yeah.
once we have because I have YouTube TV. It's been wildly frustrating. I saw the Manning cast had Bob Iger on last night too, which felt like kind of a middle finger to
Like,
everyone
maybe
who
read
couldn't
the
watch
room.
as well. Yeah.
Yeah, the only thing I don't have YouTube TV, so this hasn't hit me personally, but I was just reading something like it's always great when like two of literally like the wealthiest companies in the world are squabbling over, relative pennies.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, TC.
I'd like to just make a pronouncement that I'm monitoring. Uh, as everyone knows, I'm an avid kind of reader of the New York Times morning newsletter. It's just just kind of
We do
puts all
know
their
that.
stuff in one place, and it's a good way to track the news and stuff. Well, Sam Sifton, who's long edited and wrote much of the food newsletter, which the food newsletter has always been good. The New York Times Cooking. He has now taken over the morning newsletter, and Randy, it's just a little too cute and a little too like I don't need a dose of witty syntax before I've had my first cup of coffee, my first cup of Stone Creek coffee
You
in the morning.
you're
Like,
just
I
saying,
need the
"Give it to me
news.
straight." Just
Yeah.
yeah.
It's
I
just
I
really, like, it's too whimsical and cutesy and just
mm,
like his opening salvo, I think, week and a half ago where he kinda had his first thing, it was just like, "I'm gonna make this all about me." It just wasn't a good kickoff. So,
damn, man, that
I
sucks.
know, I know. It was tough. So
How long of a read is the morning newsletter? I'm not a
It
newsletter
depends
guy.
on
I
how
gotta
how
admit
deep you
that.
wanna get. It's just,
Yeah,
like, they'll do different themes, different days and stuff, but there's typically kind of a lead story or a body thing that they'll dig into. And then it'll go through US news, world news,
okay,
some days it's like the arts or sports or whatever. Yeah, it's just kind of a reflection of that day's paper basically.
sure, sure,
But yeah, it's like it's very well done. It's very efficient. Like and I get the one for the Washington Post as well. I get the Wall Street Journals and
okay,
Bloomberg as well. So it's like I try to mix it up a little bit, but the New York Times one is always like that's kind of the paper of record. And
sure,
I don't necessarily I'm not like completely aligned with their editorial policy and all of that, but at the same time, like it's like yeah, they do a good job gathering the news. You know,
mm,
so.
yeah. I was just reading a New York Times article, it didn't make our agenda here, but I don't know if you happen to come across they had a story about a paper mill in Chillicothe, Ohio,
I
that
saw that, I didn't read it. Yeah.
okay, um
I've kinda been behind the last 10 days or so.
yeah, I mean, it was kind of a flashpoint in the Senate election earlier this year, or I guess last year, and, um, was, like, promised, like, "Hey, we're gonna" a PE company wanted to close it, and it was like, "No, we're gonna keep it open, we're gonna fight it, we're gonna" now it's like, yeah, they're closing it, like, it's kinda just the
State of
trajectory of
state of affairs.
inevitability, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
huh.
That's where my mom's whole family is kind of from around the Chillicothe area, so it caught my attention.
Um, One last thing that caught my attention, there was a story in The Guardian, a couple weeks ago, this was October 28th, about this Scottish tea, like, it was like a
Oh, I
tea
saw
fraud.
you shared that, but I gotta be honest. Yeah, what's that about? I have not gotten a chance to dig in.
The lead is a charismatic tweed-wearing grower from Perthshire falsely claimed to be able to create thriving tea plantations in Scotland. His elaborate deception took in luxury hotels, media outlets, and tea growers across the country. And it's not really a heist, but it's just a super interesting fraud. And
Yeah,
they kind of like use testing and science to establish that hey, these these are not being grown in Scotland and that sort of thing. So he was selling to all sorts of high end businesses and stuff. So
interesting. Yeah.
yeah,
God, you just gotta love a good hustle.
right.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
on that note, Randy, I do want to our guy Eric Adams. I saw Mom Donnie won the election. I still think Adams has our hearts. Um,
You know, the more I
and
was learning about that Curtis Sliwa, the guy that
Sliwa.
wore the beret that refused to drop out, yeah, the more I was kinda like, "Alright, like, let's hear." I'm down with whatever he's selling maybe.
Well, somebody put together a graphic of just it was a map of all the places that Eric Adams said New York City is the blank of America, and it's color coded. So, purple is the country that New York is located in. Red is places where Eric Adams used the New York City is the blank of America on its capital, and that's New York is the Mexico City of America. New York is the Lima of America. Uh, looks like I think this is Guyana, Georgetown. New York is the Georgetown of America. New York is the Port-au-Prince of America. New York is the Dublin of America. New York is the Kiev of America. New York is the Zagreb of America. New York is the Athens of America, the Tel Aviv of America, Islamabad of America, Seoul of America, and then you've got the Istanbul of America. And then he also, I believe, said Albania and Turkey are like New York is the Albania of America. So he used it for the whole country as
Huh.
well.
Interesting.
Yeah, yeah. So,
Yeah, we're gonna
just
miss Eric. I hope he
I don't
I'm
think
not
he's
sure.
going away.
I was gonna say, I'm not sure what's next, but I feel like we're gonna keep hearing
Yeah,
from him.
yeah. There's a place for his kind of corruption and just
Yeah.
his whole ethos out there
Yeah,
in this current
it
place and
seems
time.
like a non-threatening type of corruption, if I'm being honest, right? Kind of a
Kinda
genteel.
homespun.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly,
yeah.
exactly.
So, I hope he pops up in some low-level ambassadorship or something like that
I mean, God,
coming
give the
up.
guy a Turkey ambassadorship, right? Let him go to Istanbul.
Yeah. Which, yeah, I mean, I guess he's got just all sorts of relationships over in Albania. That's his spot. He's
Hmm,
been doing all sorts of official business on behalf of New York over in Albania. His son's like a
of
reality
course.
TV star over there too.
Well,
So
maybe he'll
yeah,
end up in Albania. Who
yeah.
knows?
Well, Randy, I'm gonna download this bird hearing app, and
Yeah,
then
get out there
we will
and put it to
we'll
the
go from
test.
there. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and
Um,
then I'll try to couple golf trips here coming up with Solly. I'll try to kinda coerce him into being
well,
part of the
don't
bird
shame
watching.
him, but yeah.
Oh, no, 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 I'm gonna lift it up. I'm gonna build it up
Okay.
and say, "Hey, you're missing out here, man."
Okay. All right. Well, very good. I'm gonna go get a haircut this afternoon. Listen, it was great chopping it up with you. I appreciate it. I feel like we're doing our civic duty here with the folks.
Amen. Cheers.
Cheers.